Do you ever have conversations in your head that never happened? Or overanalyze a simple, okay, text for hours? You're not broken. Your brain's just stuck in survival mode. Today, I'll show you how to break that loop. Relatable story, personal example. There was a time I couldn't stop overthinking. I'd replay conversations in my head before they even happened, like mental rehearsals for things that might never occur. I'd second-guess everything, even simple stuff, like what I said at lunch. And honestly, the more I thought, the less I lived. But one day, it clicked. Overthinking wasn't who I was. It was just a symptom of fear, stress, and trying to control what I couldn't. That realization, it changed everything. Because when you stop identifying with the noise in your head, you can finally hear your life again. Chapter 1. Name the thought. Let's talk about one of the simplest, most powerful tools to stop overthinking. Naming the thought. Cognitive behavioral therapy shows that when we label a thought, like saying, "This is a worry thought," or "That's my perfectionist voice again," we immediately take away some of its power. Why does this work? Because instead of spiraling into, "Why did I do that?" or "What if I mess up?" you shift from reacting to observing. You're no longer in the thought, you're watching it. And the brain responds differently when you're observing rather than panicking. Try it. Next time your mind starts racing, pause and say, "I'm having an anxious thought. I'm noticing fear." That small shift can create space, and in that space, you can breathe, you can think clearly, and you can choose your next move. Because naming the thought is the first step to owning it. Chapter 2. Use worry time technique. Here's a surprisingly effective mental health hack from behavioral science. It's called worry time. Sounds weird, right? But stay with me. Instead of trying to shut down your overthinking all day, you schedule it, literally. Set a 10-minute timer, and for those 10 minutes, you give yourself full permission to overthink, on purpose. Write down your worries, say them out loud, let your brain spin a little. Why does this help? Because it trains your mind to postpone obsessive thoughts instead of obsessing in the moment. Over time, your brain starts to realize, hey, I don't need to worry about this right now. I've got time set aside for that later. It reduces the urge to panic, and it builds self-control. And most people find that when their worry time arrives, the thought doesn't feel as urgent anymore. So instead of trying to shut your mind down, work with it. Give your thoughts a home, and they'll stop knocking all day. Chapter 3. Move your body, calm the mind. Here's a powerful truth. Overthinking doesn't live in your schedule. It lives in your stillness. When you're doing nothing, just lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, scrolling in silence, your brain's default mode network kicks in. That's its idle mode, and it's where overthinking thrives. This network loops thoughts, replays conversations, and blows up tiny worries into big mental storms. But here's the solution: movement. Something as simple as a brisk 10-minute walk, a few jumping jacks, stretching, or even cleaning your room. It interrupts the cycle. Physical movement shifts blood flow away from the default mode network and toward parts of the brain responsible for focus, coordination, and calm. You don't need a gym membership, you just need to move. Because when your body is in motion, your mind has less room to spiral. And here's the best part. You don't have to figure everything out to take action. Sometimes just moving is the clarity. You can't think your way out of overthinking, but you can walk your way out of it. Chapter 4 is about journaling. Empty the mind. There's something powerful I wish more people knew. Your brain isn't a storage unit. It's a processor. And when you overload it with every thought, fear, reminder, and what if, it crashes, just like any machine. That's where journaling comes in. Think of it like hitting save and close on a cluttered document. It clears the mental tabs that are open 24/7 in your head. When you write your thoughts down, even just 5 minutes a day, you do 3 powerful things. First, you organize chaos. Scattered feelings start making sense. Second, you transfer stress from your mind to the page, physically moving the pressure out of your head. And third, you start to notice patterns, the stories you keep telling yourself, the triggers, the hidden beliefs. And once you see the pattern, you can actually work on it. You don't need to be a writer. You don't need fancy prompts. Just start with, here's what's on my mind right now. That simple act can change your relationship with your thoughts, from being overwhelmed by them to actually understanding them. Journaling doesn't solve everything, but it's often where healing begins. Chapter 5, as we dive into reflection versus rumination. Let's talk about a subtle but life-changing difference: reflection versus rumination. Both involve thinking, but only one helps you grow. Rumination is that mental loop that says, "Why did I say that?" or "I should have known better." It's the voice that replays your mistakes like a broken record. No resolution, just guilt and shame. But reflection, that's a whole different story. Reflection pauses and asks, what can I learn from that? Or what will I do differently next time? See the difference? One keeps you stuck in the past. The other gently moves you forward. When we reflect, we process with compassion. When we ruminate, we punish ourselves with the same thought, over and over. So next time your mind starts spiraling, ask yourself, am I learning from this or just reliving it? The moment you shift from blame to understanding, from regret to growth, that's where real change begins. Chapter 6. Fix your fuel. Sleep, food, caffeine. Here's the part we don't talk about enough. Sometimes your overthinking isn't emotional. It's biological. If you're running on 4 hours of sleep, chugging caffeine, and skipping real meals, guess what? Your brain isn't just tired, it's in survival mode. And survival mode makes everything feel urgent, overwhelming, and impossible to solve. Too much caffeine spikes adrenaline. Not eating crashes your blood sugar. Lack of sleep wrecks your ability to regulate emotions. So no, it's not just in your head. It might be what's fueling your head. If you want a calmer mind, give it real rest, real food, and less overload. Overthinking thrives on exhaustion. But clarity? Clarity shows up when the body feels safe. Fix your fuel, and you just might fix the spiral. Chapter 7 is about mindfulness to rewire the brain. If you've ever felt like your thoughts are running the show, you're not alone. But here's something most people don't realize. You can retrain your brain, literally. Studies using MRI scans show that just 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation a day can physically change how your brain functions. It quiets the default mode network. That's the part of your brain responsible for overthinking and mental noise. And it strengthens areas responsible for emotional regulation, focus, and decision-making. That means you become less reactive, more grounded, and better at handling stress. Not by forcing your thoughts to stop, but by learning how to observe them without judgment. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need incense or silence or hours of free time. All it takes is a quiet space, a few deep breaths, and a willingness to just sit with your mind, even if it feels messy at first. The goal isn't to clear your head. It's to realize you are not your thoughts, and that awareness is what rewires your brain over time. Small practice, big impact. Start with 10 minutes and watch your mind transform.
Chapter 8. Myth-busting and motivation. Let's bust the biggest myth right now. You're not overthinking because you're weak. You're overthinking because your brain is doing its job, trying to protect you. From failure, from pain, from the unknown. But here's the catch. Protection without peace becomes a prison. Overthinking isn't who you are, it's a habit your brain learned. And anything learned can be unlearned. You're not stuck. You're just one shift away from freedom.
You're not alone, plus call to action. Narrator speech. Overthinking affects millions, but few talk about it. The first step is awareness. The next is doing one thing differently. Don't try to fix everything. Just take one small action today. Clarity isn't found in your head, it's built through action. Practice this 3-step daily routine. 1. Morning. Write down 3 thoughts bothering you. Afternoon. Go for a 15-minute walk with no phone. Night. Journal one thing you're grateful for. The process trains your brain to process, release, and reset. Now it's your turn. What's the one thought you can't stop thinking about lately? Drop it in the comments. Let's normalize this. Let's break the cycle together. Let's wrap it all up, not just with a recap, but with a reminder of your power. First, name the thought. When you label it, you weaken it. Then, use worry time. Give your mind a container for stress so it doesn't spill everywhere. Move your body. Even a short walk can shut down the overthinking loop. Journal it out. Don't let your brain store everything. Empty it onto paper. Reflect. Don't ruminate. One moves you forward, the other keeps you stuck. Fix your fuel. Sleep, food, and caffeine matter more than you think. And finally, meditate. 10 minutes a day can rewire your brain for calm and clarity. Here's the truth. It's not about stopping your thoughts. That's impossible. It's about training your mind to serve you, not scare you. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker, the observer, the one who gets to choose what stays. So next time your mind spirals, take a breath and remember, you've got tools, you've got power, and you're not alone.